Oh, it's so exciting.
Isn't it though?
Oh, it just definitely, most definitely is. Welcome to another episode of
Scrutiny with Cheri and Andy.
I'm Andy Vargo, and this is my bestie,
Cheri Hardman. We decided to do something.
Yeah?
Andy Vargo and I will do anything for attention.
Yes, we will.
I'll tell you what I did. My nails, my hair, and my nails, my hair.
You gotta give yourself credit for all the things you do.
I'll tell you what I did earlier, later.
Now I don't know when it'll happen.
Earlier. And we're here to discuss my nails, my hair, and
Being the best at no matter what it is that you're doing. Now I don't know when it'll happen.
I just realized once I came in here, my hair's looked really good all day, except it's way too far over to the side, and it doesn't look that way in the mirror, but it does there.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. I don't know, looks good as far as I can see.
But it's soft. It's not frizzy today. I'm happy. I'm
Yeah.
happy with it,
Yeah, that's good. Makes you feel good when you have a good hair day.
Huh? Your hair looks good today.
Thank you. I got it cut on Friday, and I've been keeping it, in its place. I got it cut sooner than usual. I've been letting it go longer than I mean to, and then it's like, oh, I need to get a haircut, and then it's
then you got to scramble to get in and all that, and then
yeah.
yeah.
So this time I planned ahead. I got it on the calendar, and even when I went, I was like, oh, I don't even really quite need one, but I knew if I didn't go, it would be driving me crazy. So, how are you, Cheri?
I'm good. I'm real good.
Good. My good friend's calling me. I forgot to put my phone on silent so I wouldn't see it. But
Oh, what do you mean, my good friend? Not like my good friend. Not
well, they're my friend that calls more than anybody. Their name's Scam Likely, and
yeah.
I never answer, but
What kind of a friend are you?
I know.
I just had a moment of I had to remember to write something down, because at my age, you have to grab those moments when they come.
Yes, you do.
Otherwise, they're gone.
I mean, I just know at my age, and I'm like 4 years behind you, I already lose them.
Yeah.
So I just know it's. I had this joke that a friend was hanging out and visiting. We were having a drink, and I had never had a drink with this guy and his wife. We went to high school together, him and I did, and we were kind of in the same circle of friends, but not close. But just how those things are. And then
Right.
I've seen him around town. It's always been, hey, how's it going? Facebook friends, short visits here and there. But ran into him last week and ended up just both being free and sitting down having a conversation, just finding out, holy crap, we got a lot of stuff in common. This happened over the years, or that where we're at now. So we just had a great chat. But I shared some joke, and it's a joke I haven't told for a couple of years. And I was like, oh, I need to resurrect that one and bring it back up, because it was a clean joke. It was funny. I told it a little differently in a way that I was like, oh, I got to remember that. And then for the life of me, for last week, I cannot remember what the hell it was. And I didn't write it down because I was like, oh, it's one I already wrote. I don't have to write the joke down. So gone.
Hopefully it'll come back to you, but yeah, that happens to me a lot.
I am hoping so. So what's new, exciting coming up? You got any big, exciting, fun headlining shows this weekend?
Yeah, I do actually. I am featuring for Bo Blast on Friday and Saturday night at the new Tacoma Comedy Club on 6th and Proctor. And then Sunday night, I get to be the headliner. Courtney Bird and Norrin Van on with me, and I'm really excited. I've been going over my set list like crazy every night. It's interesting, for that long of a set, to me, I have the first part, the first chunk, no problems. The last chunk, no problems. It's just that middle space where I kind of have a tendency to forget stuff or, to get lost. So I'm really trying to work on having it be in an order that makes sense to me, so that if I kind of forget where I am for a second, it can
Yeah.
put me back. And it's a little bit hard because they're, it's like the Vegas bit, the bit about Andrew, the serial killers. They don't follow a progression.
Yeah, they don't follow a
Kind of
timeline of
random.
life or anything. Yeah.
And I'm always forgetting my Helen Keller bit.
Hmm.
Forget that one a lot. So I just don't want to forget any of my good stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I run into that sometimes with either speaking or comedy, where if the things that follow a progression or that follow a storyline are easy because like, oh, I'm gonna go into this, and then you're good for 5 or 7 minutes or however long. But then you're like, then you wrap that up, you're like, now what was the next thing I was gonna say? And so that does get tricky for sure, especially on that length of time.
Yeah, and sometimes I have like an app. I used to have an app on my phone where it would show me the next joke and how much time I was doing and record me all in one app, which was beautiful.
Hmm.
But you can't rely on looking at your phone. You should not.
Right.
So I'm going to be up there just balls hanging free, no restraints. Just like if I fuck up, I fuck up. So I won't. It'll be fine.
That's well, you've done that much time. You're
So
good,
many times. Yeah.
and you're good with the audience interaction. I mean, you'll do well. It'll be amazing. But I know what you mean. Like it might not be. Um, you may walk away and go, "Oh, I meant to do this, or I was going to do that, or I forgot that." But
There's
I heard this.
always that.
Yeah, I heard this thing the other day that was so freeing on this thing I'm listening to, this course I'm taking about speaking, and one of the things that they said is, and it applies to, I'm sure, all sorts of stuff, but specifically with speaking, they said every speech you give contains 3 speeches. There's the speech that you prepared and practiced and wrote and planned to give. Then there's the speech that you gave, and then there's the next speech, that the changes that you're going to make for the next one based on how it went and what you thought. And it's the same way with comedy. It's like, oh, I planned to do this, wished I would have done that, forgot to do that, or this thing actually worked out better this way. So then there's the next one.
Yeah. And it's nice. They're going to be people from my job there that have never seen me.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Them, I don't even know who they are because I don't get around that much at my school. I only have 2 places really where I am, maybe 3. So they're just not on my list of places that I hit. So
yeah, so that'll be
it's going to
good.
be interesting. I'm excited for it. I've heard that it's going to rain. I'm not very happy about that. So
It's raining,
we'll see if God listens to me and lets a little sunshine. I just don't want my hair getting messed up. That's what's really important in this world.
Well, and I feel like I know that it's not as big of a club, so there's going to be less demand for parking, but I feel like the parking is a little tighter over there.
I think so.
And I think that the thing is, there's as much street space, but there are more active businesses on that street. Now, who knows at that time of night? Maybe not. Maybe that's not, because I'm over there during the day a lot more. So
someone said the other day that there's a parking lot behind it.
Oh, great. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I kind of want to go drive over there and look and see.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was. I wouldn't imagine. I wouldn't imagine it's that big though. I'm just going to have Dave drop me off, except for on Sunday night, he's going to stay.
Yeah.
Just so I don't have to worry about the traffic and the parking. So it's going to be fun though. And I would love to see any of you that are watching there. Everybody that's watching, plus those that aren't watching. Anyway, I'm just being weird now. What's up with you?
Oh, all sorts of stuff. I have a lot of things kind of just irons in the fire that are taking off. They're feeling good. I'm having to be really focused. And I'm going to tell you a little story in a little bit about my weekend. But starting tomorrow, I'm gonna be offline for probably a week, maybe till Wednesday, maybe Thursday next week. I'm gonna stay off the socials, so y'all won't be seeing me. But I am here in spirit. But I try to do that once a year or so, where I take a few days off and time for my reset. And it's working out just in line with some writing projects and some things I need to get done. I may actually end up creating a bunch of content just to, if I have the downtime. But yeah, that's my big thing. So I'll see y'all on the 22nd ish, whenever Wednesday, Thursday next week. And then I got to tell you a little story about some lessons I had this weekend, but I don't know if there's anything you want to share first.
All right. Well, I want to talk about what happened to me yesterday.
Okay.
Because, I've been having some weird shit go on lately.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a while ago that the neighbor's house burned down, and then Milo started having seizures. And I just feel like there's just been weird stuff happening. That person throwing the apple at me,
Yeah, and that was before last Thursday, right? Like we did talk about that on our show,
We
right?
did. We talked about
Okay.
that last time.
It just seems like it was so long ago.
So yesterday was Wednesday, but also Monday, the bus driver thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't got to really tell it in person, but so Andrew's bus pulled up like it does in the morning, and then it just continued to sit out there in front of the house. And so I thought, is that person being a real stickler about the rule where I'm supposed to bring Andrew out to them? Because nobody does. They always come up to the door, always.
Oh, gotcha.
But I have maybe in the past many, many years had one or two bus drivers that said, I'm not supposed to leave my bus. They do all the time. But anyway, so I go out there, the bus driver's laying face down in the bus with his paperwork is down by his feet, and he has his feet are by the door. And his head is on the seat. So it looks like he was standing up and just passed out or something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit, what's going on with this guy? Is he dead? I don't know. I did not. So I thought, well, before I call 911, I'll knock. I knocked. And then he got up and turned around and looked at me and he said, oh, I was just waiting for it to be time. And this was 7:08. And Andrew's window is 7:05 to 7:35.
Oh,
weird. If they get there before 7:05, they wait till 7:05, whatever.
Right.
But this has never happened. I've never had a bus driver just pull up and sit out there. Certainly not one pull up, sit out there and lay down for a nap. Because he got there at maybe 7:03, 7:05. It was weird.
Yeah.
And then he's parked on the sidewalk. But I got that weird sidewalk where it's not like a
gentle curb.
But it's not that gentle of a curb. It's a curb. But anyway, so it's weird to park on the sidewalk. And then he looks at it and oh, I'm parked on the sidewalk, gets in the bus and then moves the bus up 6 inches. It didn't make any difference.
Is it a new driver?
I'd never seen him before. So I'm like, I don't want my kid getting on the bus with him. I don't know if he's passed out, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I would not feel comfortable just sending my child off with him. So I called Access and said all that, and they sent another bus. So that was weird,
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I was like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. My Andrew's bus is going to be here any minute. I'll just run in there really quick and go. And I was wearing these slip-on shoes. And, I always wore these one ugly slip-on shoes just because they're so comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And my feet handle them really well. I got problematic feet, So,
yeah.
But they started stinking. They got old and they were ready to go. So I've been using these other ones, but they're a little too big. And just slide your feet into them. And
Mhm.
so I went over the bump at the doorway and my foot caught. And next thing I know, I'm just sitting on my ass.
Oh, no.
I was maybe down like this. Yeah. And then I was able to sit up. And then I like, the scooter was right here, right by me. And there was like a shoe rack right in front of me. And then the bathroom door. And I'm like, I tried. First, I'm like, let's make a little nest for my knees so I can get up on my knees. And then I'm like, we got wood floors. We don't have carpet. And my
Yeah.
knees are jacked up. So like I'm not, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I can get up like on this arm. But
Mhm.
I don't know if I told you, but for like 2 months now, my shoulder's been really jacked up
Oh.
and it's very weak and there's a problem. And so I don't want to put all my weight on my shoulder. And I tried all these different things and I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to get up, but I didn't have my phone.
Oh, no.
Luckily it was out in the other room. Luckily Andrew was still home. So I'm like, Andrew, bring me my phone. So Andrew brought me my phone. And then when I'm calling, I realized, oh, they're not gonna be able to come in here because of the dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, don't worry, we've been around dogs before, so, don't worry about it. But then I thought, Andrew, go let the dogs out. And Andrew went and let all the dogs out in the backyard, shut the door. And
Nice.
so that they didn't have to deal with that. And
And then
then,
he could unlock
and
the
then I
door
just
for him.
told Andrew, I go, when the bus comes, you look out the window, go watch out the window. When the bus comes, just go outside and get in your wheelchair and just go with them.
Mhm.
But they came, they were really fast. There was three of them, two men, and then a woman in front. She just held my hands and they just like lifted me up straight up. So I was standing.
Wow.
And I mean, it was like they were there in like 4 minutes
Oh,
and
wow.
and it was over within 2 minutes. So it was like it was just barely a 5-minute transaction. I just went on my way to work. But as the bus driver came in and right as I was going out there, and he said, I just want to make sure it's okay that I'm taking Andrew. I said, yeah, but so I mean, I hated that I had to do that, but I had to do that. So
Well, at least it was a short thing, and at least
yeah,
it did. At least you didn't hurt yourself on the way down or anything.
I mean, I'm a little jostled. I can
Well,
feel,
sure.
but no, it could have been so much worse. But I'm just so proud of Andrew. Like he handled it like a champ. He like
Yeah.
saved my ass. So
Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
I could see that kind of rattling him and making him nervous,
Well, as soon as he walked in the door yesterday, he came and he's not one to really hug.
Uh-huh.
If you put your arm around or hug him, he doesn't really like it though. And he came
Okay.
home and hugged me and said, Mama, like, and then
Oh,
when he left, they were still here. So
yeah.
I think he
He
was
didn't
worried about it all day. Yeah. So that was
Yeah, poor
good.
guy.
Yeah. But he saved me. He did a good job and we made sure to let him know that you did everything right. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like when bad shit keeps happening to you, that uh like the universe is like trying to tell me something, you know?
But it's time to retire and quit your job.
Well, yeah, I don't know well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what is trying to be told to me, but I feel like something is.
I don't know.
Let me tell you, going around the hallways at school, knowing there's only Friday, Tuesday, and Wednesday left, and Wednesday's a short day, it's like,
Is that
woohoo!
is that it? Wow. I was wondering,
Yeah.
I've been asking you like, when's your last day of work? And then you didn't know and didn't know. And all of a sudden it's like, so then do you have stuff after that you have to keep going for it all officially
No,
before you retire?
no, that's it. I'm done.
Holy crikey.
I know.
That's
And I don't
exciting.
even think I'm going to feel like crying or sad or, like, oh, that last minute, like, no, it's
Yeah.
for one thing, our school is dingy and like, we're like close on the list to be redone or whatever,
Oh,
whatever you
gotcha.
call it,
Yeah. So it's
renovated, and
in the
so
rundown stages.
it was built in the 70s. So it's trash.
Hmm.
Like most of the classrooms, I mean, like classroom except Jordan's, but are my regular class. There's no windows, it's just like we're in
Oh,
a gray, dingy box.
yeah. Huh.
So yeah, I just was walking around looking at the hallways today going, it's gonna feel good not to have to look at this anymore.
Yeah, just kind of a downer all day.
It
You go
is.
stay in that space all the time.
Yep. So, but there's gonna be lots of jobs at my school because there's 3 of us retiring.
Wow.
3, yeah, there was gonna be 4, but 1 changed her mind.
Okay.
And so there's 3 and they don't have any applicants, they're saying. So,
Goodness.
it's not like it doesn't pay that much, but has good benefits. You don't have to work in the summer and, as a second income for like you know, mom or something, it's a good job, or if you're going to school or, whatever. So,
Good deal.
well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know I told you this story. I don't know if I told you it in person, but I definitely shared. Um, there's this guy I've been crushing on, and I was pretty sure he was crushing on me. And so, first of all, I'm convinced that I did not read the situation wrong. So I'm gonna lead with that. But in the moment, it didn't feel good. Um, but I'll tell you about the good things about it at the end. So don't get all too depressed here. But there's this guy we've been having some flirty banter with the last couple months, and to the point where like I went out, ran into him around town, and we went out afterwards at the event that we were both at that was wrapping up, had some drinks together with another friend, and the other friend left before we were done, and we stayed and shut the bar down. He picked up the whole tab. Every time he sees me, it's like, Andy, oh my gosh, how you doing? Talking me up in front of his friends, like, oh, Andy does this and this and all this stuff, which is cool, but then a friend of mine wanted to go to the drag show at the local bar here because he had out of town friends. Like, we're going tonight. You want to join us? I'm like, cool. Well, I get there early and I'm sitting outside on the patio, and this guy walks by and he's like, and I'm wearing my super gay floral shirt. Like, it's anyway. And I mean, not that he knows I'm gay. That's not a thing. But anyway, he's like, oh man, I love your shirt. That looks really good on you. And like, very, very like almost over the top, right? And so then I'm like, well, hey, I'm my friend that he knows we're going to the drag show, and he's like, oh, that sounds fun. Maybe I'll be back, because he was walking towards where he lives, and so comes back, hangs out, and making the sparkly eyes at me the whole time while the show's going on, and I'm just like, and I did some karaoke, and he's feel like there's a thing. So finally, I just said, well, hey, if I thought there was interest, I'd ask you out on a date. And he's like, oh man, I really appreciate the compliment, but I'm not a gay guy. And I'm like, well, crap, that sure is not what I picked up. And um and he wasn't rude, he wasn't a jerk about it or anything, but there's that stigma of like, don't be nice to a gay guy because they'll think that you're wanting to date. But there's also being over the top too. And so I'm like, because I don't want to be that guy where it's like, oh, don't be nice to him, because I'm happy to be friends with anybody. But at the same time, it's just very confusing. So that felt like shit. And I had my moment where I'm like, oh crap, that was just like a punch to the gut. And it wasn't that I have been like so infatuated with this guy that it's like, oh, he's the one. Because I had kind of figured I wouldn't see him, because I haven't seen him for like 6 weeks. And so I had kind of moved on, but it just kind of rekindled when I saw him again. And I thought, oh, well, cool, maybe there is something there. Well, it wasn't that, like, I wasn't broken up about, oh my God, he's not going to be the guy. It was more like, if I can't get this right, like if I can't even figure it out and it feels that obvious and I was that sure, how am I ever gonna like hit on the right person or whatever? So I walked home, had my moments, bought a pizza at 7-Eleven and some ice cream. There's nothing that pizza and ice cream can't fix. And then, by the time I woke up, the sun was up and it was blue skies again. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I was all that off. I mean, maybe he's not comfortable or ready. Maybe he's in a space. I don't know. It's not about me. But I had to say, at least I asked, and 6 months ago I wouldn't have. So there's a lot of growth there in that thing, and we have to have those painful moments sometimes in order to get through them and get to the good stuff and be more comfortable. Maybe just asking even sooner next time so that it isn't a 2 month process. It's just like, oh, are you trying to date me or what? Like, do you date guys or girls? Like, but anyway, that was my weekend discovery.
So in the times that you've gone out with them, how many times have been at gay bars?
None other than Friday.
Okay.
I've usually run into them in a mutual spot that we hang out at.
Gotcha.
And so it's never been planned. We've only gone out the one time, but then I had decided, like, there was such a connection that time that I had decided next time I see him, I'm going to ask him out. And then the next time I saw him, he was with coworkers. So it wasn't like the right situation. And it was, we weren't really hanging out. So then I haven't seen him for a month and a half. So I thought, well, maybe there's nothing there. Maybe they're not interested because they stopped coming around. Maybe they just got busy. I was trying to not read too much into it. But yeah, there was that. So, huh?
Doesn't this I just got to remember we're on here. We're not just like talking. Hasn't this happened before?
I've
Is
had
this a pattern that you tend to.
I've had a couple similarities. I'm getting better at breaking the pattern. So
Are you just attracted to straight guys?
Well, I tend to be attracted to guys where it's less obvious that they're gay. But there are guys that I know that are gay that I've been attracted to. I mean, it's just
Right.
Like, I usually like to say I want to be with someone who doesn't have to fly a pride flag or have all of our dates be in a gay bar, but they're also not going to be like all the time, but they're also not going to be embarrassed if we hold hands
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be like that couple where people are like, they see us like, oh, maybe not, I don't know, and then be like, holy crap, those guys just kissed, or but yeah, there was that, and then there was something else. There was two things.
Seem though like he's doing a lot of things that straight guys don't typically do.
Well, and that's the thing where I think maybe in his journey he's just not comfortable yet. And I've heard people say that it took them a while to figure it out, which is not how I was. So it's hard for me I can't put my understanding of my journey on theirs. Like maybe they don't know and they do feel that way and just haven't have it so buried, or I don't know. But maybe, yeah, because the whole the thing that made a big difference for me was like the buying drinks, the overly complimentary. Like, when you see somebody and their face like lights up when they see you, like that's a different level of interaction than just like, oh, hey, good to see you, man.
Well, and not like Dave's every straight man, but he would never compliment one of your shirts. He just would never do it,
Well, and also I got backup opinions from a couple other people who were like, yeah, he really seems into you, or what's going on there, or like, I wanted to know where this is going. And so that was the thing I had to remind myself, is it really isn't just me. Like I wasn't off the mark on at least thinking that there could be something, even if there was nothing, so it's fine.
But yeah, I am proud of you that you asked him out. That was uncharacteristic for you. How drunk?
Yes, and I'm trying to be better at that now.
How drunk were you, Andy?
What?
How drunk were you, though?
I had barely had anything to drink.
Oh, okay.
I think I had 2 drinks the whole night.
So you weren't cackling like a.
No, oh no, I wasn't at all.
You weren't like
I wasn't foolish drunk. Also, I mean, I walked on purpose because I wanted to have a drink, but I didn't have. I think I had 2. Also, and I was only partway through the second one there. Also, when I got home, I was like, I downloaded, a couple dating apps at like Hinge and Bumble, because I was like, all my vices in one night. And I think I fell asleep before one of them even loaded, so I kind of forgot about it. But the next day I was like, I'll just look and see, just in case, because it's fine. Because when I got back on there at the beginning of the year, I was off for a week or on for a week, and when I took it off my phone a couple months ago, I didn't delete the profile, I just took them off and paused them. So I loaded it and I started chatting with this one guy, and I was like, oh, he's up in Seattle, and I'm not really that excited about that, and I'm not really into this whole trying very hard with online dating, so I really don't care that much about that. But he's like, oh, so you're an author? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what kind of books do you write, or what topics do you write about? And I said self-help, and he replied with, still, that's impressive. And I was like, why still? Like that's a lower class of writing or something? Like, so, and then I'm trying to tell myself, don't get hung up on one word, but it's just a weird thing to actually type out. Like, oh, it sounds like
Right, yeah.
bad.
That is-
I know. I was like, it's kind of
Maybe
fun.
he meant to type something else, because sometimes people do that and then they're confused by their text, and it's because they typed the wrong thing.
And then they get really confused by other people's replies and are asking people to help them understand it. It's like, oh.
I just kept looking at it. I was texting with someone today and they said something to me that didn't make sense. So I sent it to Andy to ask him what he thought. And what had happened was one of my words was off and they were asking me about it. And I only looked at his, I didn't re-look at mine, because I do have a tendency to use talk to text and not check my work. So anyway, I had to make that about me, but no,
No, it's true. It's funny. Yeah. I've
yeah,
done that too.
the word
Someone
just
replies and I'm like, what are they talking about? It's like, oh crap. So
huh. Well, still.
yeah. So anyway, so that's fine. I'm over it. It's old news at this point. Fortunately, I already had uh an appointment scheduled for Monday morning with my therapist. I always go on Mondays. Like, it's my most consistently open morning where I know that I can go, and I have to
Right.
schedule it several months out. So so I usually go every 2-3 weeks. And I'm actually like, that's kind of nice, because it starts out the week in a good tone, and whatever's happened over the week or the weekend, it's just kind of like, okay. So that was really good.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
it's interesting. Ugh. Got booked on the dope show in Spokane. I haven't told my husband yet, on the 26th. So
Oh, nice.
guess we're making a little trip to Spokane
That is awesome. Well, the 26th of,
this month.
isn't that the Odd Otter show?
Oh, I mean the 25th. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's a Sunday, so I have to be back on the 26th. There we
No,
go.
I also thought it would be weird for them to be doing a Monday night dope show, but
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
yeah. So the 20,
Shows tonight.
yeah, next weekend's gonna be busy. I have a show in Bothell. I'm doing the Laugh Tech show at Good Barrel Brewing, or Good Barrel Brewing Tap House, something like that, up in Bothell. 7 o'clock show Friday night, and apparently it gets pretty full, so you got to grab your ticket if you want it. There's a Facebook link for that. And then the 24th, I have the Gig Harbor, first time they're doing Pride in the Park in Gig Harbor, and so I'll have a booth there, and then I'm one of the sponsors, so that's kind of cool, because I got to see my logo on the advertisement. It's like, oh, that's next level stuff.
It looked really stood out to me too. Like, and not just because it was you, but it was like, boom, it's got some power to it.
I'm glad you said that, 'cause I honed in on it, but it's my message, and
Right.
then my sister said the same thing. She's like, yours really stands out. And I'm like, oh, that's cool to hear other people say that. So when you said that, it's like, yeah.
Well, it really says something about like how your logo can, a person can make or break, because some of those other ones look pretty lame in comparison.
Yeah.
So
And it also depends too, like when you make a logo, you have to think about other ways that it can be used, because some of those logos probably look great on a white background or probably look great in certain circumstances. Mine wouldn't look as great on a white background. It's really better on color, but it still does have the drop shadow. And that's one of the things I used to, when I was selling packaging and working with companies and stuff, one of the things people don't think about too is they design a logo with a ton of colors in it. And then when you go to get a t-shirt printed or something or anything made, you're, depending on the process, you're paying per color. And all of a sudden it's, oh, I have this
Yeah.
photograph in my logo and now I have to pay for a full color print and it's too expensive to make stuff. So yeah, so I love it. You know, my brand person did an amazing job. I cannot say enough about what they've done with my website, my logo. Right now, I'm actually working a lot on changing some of the text, the copy on my website, because they're the visual user person. Their expertise is not in the copy, and I'm working with some other folks to position myself better to attract the right customers based on having the right things in my messaging. So
There's all stuff to do, isn't there?
oh yeah,
totally. Like I
totally.
think, oh, I'm all caught up, and then I realize, oh no, I need to do this and this and this and this.
And I just got, I had a great call with another colleague friend of mine, Melissa. We always share ideas back and forth and help each other out. And she makes awesome videos, but she sent me a link for something that's going to be fun for making my next videos go even further. And before we got on here, I created a video using this thing she sent me, and it already got 357 views. Excuse me. Sorry. So I'm excited.
That was weird because I saw your face just change for a minute. I'm like, what the fuck? And then, that's what it was. Yeah.
I couldn't reach up and mute it quick enough.
Well, cool.
Cool. So Sunday night, headlining gig at Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yep. Be there, be square.
Tip to be square.
Well,
not in this case, though.
Right. Okay, well, I think we're good, don't you think?
I think so.
You know, we're getting really close to 100 episodes. We're going to have to do a big blowout for that 100th episode.
Episode, yep, we're going to have to do that.
I don't know what, but we'll figure something out. All right. Well, everybody have a great evening. You have fun with whatever it is you're doing later.
You too. I'm going to a chamber. They have a big small business expo that is today. So I'm heading to that, and I'm going to go meet some new clients.
All right. Okay,
All right,
bye.
bye.